So I think we are at the beginning of a session which is mainly devoted to a presentation by Monika Schörtle, accompanied by Friederike Kaufmann and Gianni Seufert. And it's part of the conference which was introduced in the program relatively recently, for the simple reason that we met Monika in the summer this year. And I have to tell the audience that I stumbled on her when she was having a presentation or an event which was part of a foundation event, a foundation conference on introducing a new type of university, which is the university she will present in this session. Monika is an amazing personality. As much as I read from her CV, she is being in different universities. She's a professor in political science, and she is a social scientist firsthand. And she is focusing in her academic work on interdisciplinary gender violence, human rights, and inclusion research. So that's her specific research. But wider than this, she was thinking about a new type of university. And it was by coincidence that when I met her in that foundation conference, it immediately came to my mind that this has a lot to do with the World Capital Institute, presided and headed by Javier Carrillo. I'm part of the executive committee and the management of this university. So I made the connection between Monika and the team, which is running the World Capital Institute and which was at that time preparing the Knowledge Cities World Summit, which we are part of now in this event. And it turned out that we were fascinated on both sides, Monika, on what the World Capital Institute is doing. And on the other side, we found that the concept Monika is following with her supporters of a new type of university perfectly fits into what we think should be the new style and the new way of education. So there was taken a quite recent decision to take her presentation into this Knowledge Cities World Summit program. And I wouldn't go further than that, not taking away from her perfect presentation she will give now, introducing the INF-Uni, the International Future University. And Monika, I think you should take over now and give us an introduction to this new type and new venture of an educational exercise.
Yes, thank you very much, Günther and Kathy and Javier, for your invitation and for the honor to be with you and share with you some information on the International Future University. The short name is INF-Uni, not INF-Uni, but INF-Uni. And it's so amazing because I think at the moment, project and people are coming together like magnets and meeting each other in a almost magical way, and I was really glad to be connected with your World Capital Institute. And now I will tell something about the International Future University. But before I do this, I want to say that this project is really a long-term in mind and heart project of me, and it's still in the process of foundation, and it's still in a very early stage. And as I heard all the wonderful speakers in the last days, you couldn't always ask the speakers, but I think many of us were impressed, and I was also impressed and stimulated and so grateful to be part of that event. And I find it so strengthening to know that there are a lot of scientists and activists from all ages and all over the world with a similar spirit and with the intention to strengthen the urgently needed transformation through knowledge and through interdisciplinary research and action, and also in close cooperation with the citizens. I think that's very, very amazing thing that we are all starting or have started with this project. And this is exactly what the International Future University is intending. And we hope that some of you will work with us in different ways in the future. Now, first, who are we? We are a group of scientists and critical researchers, of university teachers, students, activists, culture workers, and artists who are developing new forms of education and especially higher education. The background is that we think that some of the old forms of higher education are getting more and more sense and meaningless against the knowledge and the cooperation that is now needed in order to develop new paths leading us out of the crisis and into a livable future for our and the next generations. As a political and social scientist and a university professor, I have been working for more than 20 years on uncovering, analyzing, overcoming social and political problems, especially in the fields of participation, social justice, violence, discrimination, gender, disability, and migration. And I'm really convinced that we need more engaged and participatory research and innovative teaching in the sense of research-based learning within a broad international trends and interdisciplinary framework. And then we have to shift our mindset from just analyzing problems and only warning and explaining how difficult everything is to take action and to really find ways out of the problem together and in various ways. And I think this is also what many young students want. And I'm so very grateful to work together with students and activists, and also with Friederike Kaufmann and Gianni Seufert and other young at heart pioneers. And I'm so convinced that we, by networking, and this is exactly what Kathy just said in the session before, that by networking knowledge about social, political, economic, ecological strategies, the aim of our project is also to jointly achieve a good life for existing and future generations worldwide. And we are still hopeful that this is possible, and we will do our best to contribute. So now I start with the PowerPoint presentation, and I hope I will manage like I did it before. So, full screen. No, it's not. Is it visible? Is it visible now?
It has no, it has always a bit of delay. You have to be patient. It's there now.
It's there now. Okay, great. This is from the website of the International Future University, and just let me shortly explain what is it about. The International Future University is planned as a digital and internationally networked university, and we are formally founding it next year as a non-profit limited company. We are aimed at teaching, learning, researching, and implementing solutions for urgent contemporary and future problems in different areas. And I'll show you the broad range of areas in next slides. We are trying to shape politics, economy, society, and cultures in a way that is oriented towards the comprehensive common good and sustainability. As I said, we are also internationally and interdisciplinary networked, and we would like to initiate and support constructive learning processes for students, but also for practitioners, experts, decision makers, and citizens. And what we want to offer are really new ways to study. The new way is, on the one hand, to study not along the narrow confines of the single disciplines, but along topics and problem areas and solution-oriented. So we are not just mixing disciplines, but we use all disciplines in the direction of problem analysis and solutions, possible solutions. And the students should not only hear and learn, but it should be research and project-based learning, where the teachers are not more the instructors and the one who assess things, but they are accompanying and supporting the students in finding out solutions. And in this way, the teachers are also some students and learning more about the things. Another thing that we find is important, that students are together in small groups and internationally networked, and this is possible through the internet, in order to get international knowledge and to learn as global citizens and not as national citizens anymore. There, I think they will find out differences, but also they will learn what are the others doing, what was successful in other contexts, and they will also learn would it be adequate for our context or not, and how can we bring the things together forward. And they will also see the problems from other parts of the world and how they've tried to solve it. Another important thing of the new university is to get also experience and knowledge about implementation and transformation through, for example, project-oriented internships, and through also, for example, in companies, NGOs, ministries, and also through their own project that they are implementing during the courses. And what they should also learn, and we will also learn, is to share our solutions and disseminate it, and not only to the scientific public, but also to the general public, to policymakers and to practitioners and the media. So we learn how we can do it in an adequate way that is understandable to different groups. And of course, we are exchanging experience in how cultural and society transformation functions or works. So the overall topic is we are training change makers to know about the interconnectedness of different problem areas, and not only of one or two, and to enable them to creatively put the knowledge of multiple solutions into transformation practice. So, and now I will show you that we really have planned a bright bright range of subject areas. We are planning by now, this could change while we further develop the courses and the university. By now we have planned to have 4 modules with a total of 12 main topics, which can be individually combined in a modular system. The first one is common good, and you can see here on the screen that we have different topics here, like common good oriented economy, social cohesion and distributive justice, health, happiness, and a good life for all. And the next module is about chance, called chance, the heading. And it's about gender equality, protection of human rights, inclusion, education, and occupation for all. And then we have 2 other modules. You can see it on the screen. It's about the first module 3 is about peace, where we learned about participation and democracy, about interculturality, migration topics, and international relations and nonviolence, peace building. And model 4 is about sustainability. And here is also all the topics that you have discussed in this meeting. We think that it's important to combine the topics and to learn about several things, not only about sustainability, but also to hear how is it connected to other problems of the world and to other topics. And in order to have really holistic solutions. And we have another basic module. This should be learned by everybody, and we are all students in relation to transformation. Here we learn about general methods for such successful implementation of social and political transformation processes on different levels. Okay, these are the topics, and as I said, maybe we will change some things, but this is the current idea. And what are we doing in concretely is that we would like to set up a master's program for international future and transformation studies, where students can study all the top topics in their own way. They can choose what topics they want to study, and they can also choose in what time frames they want to study. Furthermore, we want to install an Infuni Academy where we can get from all these topics, can provide further education, training for companies and private individuals. And we find it interesting to mix those who use it, to have practitioners, but also private individuals, because I think altogether might be very interesting to solve some problems. So we would also like to include normal citizens here. Furthermore, we would have like to work together also with other institutions to do joint research. And a very important topic is the knowledge transfer to society, because in all the speeches we heard, we saw that the society is the key for change. And so we are thinking it's good to also provide citizen universities and digitally accessible publications and information. And the last thing is that we provide individual consultancy for different actors. So you see, it's a big program, and we will realize it one after the other. We will start with further education and training, and also with knowledge transfer to society. And once the master's program is set, by now we think in 2023, we can start with the master's program, and then we will go on. And we also said we need some kind of organic development. We will see what is happening step by step, and how this will change our original plan. So I will not tell very much about the master's program here, but we of course have an idea how we could organize the master's program. And I think the specific thing is, in a very early stage, we start with project-oriented research and implementation. And in the last semester, the final paper is about reflection and documentation, and about disseminated in a way that is understandable to the relevant actors and also to the general public. So, but I have to hurry a little bit because I'm late. Here you can find our mission and principles. And I said several things before. What I think is very important, that we are a network university. That means that we are closely cooperating with different actors and also with other universities. We also appreciate diversity and different approaches and also different epistemologies. One of our important missions is to provide meaningful teaching, learning, and research, and to promote an open, creative, committed, and visionary spirit. And I think this is often not the case in current universities, and a lot of students have fears and feel that they are not belonging to the clubs. And this is what we really don't want, because then we are not creative enough to solve the problems that we have to solve. So we have a lot of open questions, and I will invite you all to come to us and discuss with us in the next years. We don't know yet how we will be funded, and if we will be accredited. We will try, but if we won't, we find other ways. We still don't know where's our main location, and if we have one location or different locations. We also still are working on the conception and learning conceptions and the pillars. And at the moment, we are really intensively going into international cooperations like today. And it would be wonderful if some of you, and I think most of you have similar spirit, would come and work with us in order to make this possible, this new kind of university. And what you see now is that here at this island are Friederike and Chani living near this island. And we thought maybe this is the beautiful Lake Constance with the beautiful mountains. And we thought maybe we start here, because many countries are around this lake, and it's a beautiful lake. And we think we have to have some kind of beautiful vision. And perhaps if we have good luck, we could start here. This is an old villa, which is not in use at the moment, and which would perhaps feel perfectly to start with the project and then go on. But it's still unclear, because maybe it will be more places like fungi growing out of the earth, where what will be the International Future University in the end. Thank you so much. And these are some persons of our team. And this is Friederike, who will now go on with the next session. And I think I stopped. Have I stopped? Yes. Okay.
Yeah, just before Friederike starts, say one little word. There is in the chat a person showing up called Eliud Flores Caraballo. He is a good friend of the World Capital Institute residing in Puerto Rico. And without going into too much details and taking too much time, I want to tell you that he already started to comment on your program, and I'm pretty sure that he will also be one of the network partners you could look forward. We are confident that one of our next conferences will take place in Puerto Rico, and that this could be the first spin-off place. It's a nice place. I was there, and very sympathetic people there. So you already have triggered a first reaction, and that is important.
Great.
Now, Friederike, I think it's your turn.
Yes, thank you. Is it still working? Yeah,
just continue.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm continuing. So I'm speaking from the perspective of a younger generation. We as young people are often told that it is our responsibility to fight the climate crisis and to change the system, which often feels like a huge burden on our generation. We feel like we're not the ones who caused the problem, but that we're now being held responsible for changing it, while the older generation can sit back and carry on as before. At the same time, we're confronted with an education system that does not teach us solutions, but rather trains us to be able to find a well-paid job in a system that is often very environmentally destructive. Beyond that, the university system often feels a hamster wheel of deadlines, valuation pressure, workload, and anxiety that has almost no room for imagination. So this is why I got interested in the idea of the International Future University. This crazy vision of a university where people teach and study that want to save the world, guided by the deep hope that positive system level change is possible. A university where scientists, young activists, politicians, artists, policymakers, entrepreneurs, children, and citizens come together to share knowledge and develop solutions for desirable futures. A university that, instead of hierarchizing Western perceptions, connects disciplines, cultures, and ideas from all around the world. A university that educates, empowers, and inspires people all around the globe to transform their visions into action. In other words, a university where the changemakers of tomorrow and the changemakers of today come together. It may sound crazy, but why not found the university of our dreams, turning discontent into courage and disappointment into hope? We, as a young generation, want to learn how the implementation of a system-level change is possible, but we need the older generations, their approval, their knowledge, and their experience. What our young generation is desperately looking for is an older generation that is taking us seriously, that is hearing our voices, and that is saying, let's work together, let's do this. For me, in a nutshell, this is the idea of the International Future University. So I would like to close with a poem that inspired me a lot to become a committed changemaker, or I hope it did. It's a poem from the philosopher Charles Eisenstein, who you might know. And it goes like this. It is 3 o'clock in the morning. I cannot sleep. My unborn grandchildren come to me in my sleep, and they ask me, "What did you do when you knew? What did you do when you knew?" It is 3 o'clock in the morning, and I cannot sleep. My unborn grandchildren ask me, "What did you do when you knew?" Thank you.
And just let me say that Friederike is a co-founder of the university, and Gianni as well.
I just wanted to say, like in a good piece of music, you stay quiet when you heard the poem. In this case, I was very impressed also by the whole presentation. We are getting close to the end because we need a little bit of time to switch to the next session. I think it was a starting event, and I'm so grateful, Monica, Friederike, and Gianni, that you joined this event, this conference. I'm perfectly sure, because you have seen it already from the first reaction, also from Kathy, who is one of the key personalities in the World Capital Institute, that this was the first step in on a long journey, which I hope, Monica, we will take together with all the team you have shown to us. I'm very much convinced that things will work because you have so much support. And as I remember in that famous event, I had the opportunity by occasion to follow your founding conference in summer this year, that you have so much support and so much motivation, in specific from a younger generation, that it can't fail. It must become successful. Thank you very much. Monica, do you want to have a last word before we leave this session?
No, I just want to thank you so much, and I really hope that we will go a good way together. And thank all the people who are there. It's really strengthening to know that others are working on the same things.
And the good point is, I think that is what we are adding to your project, that it's that the World Capital Institute, and specific its conference, which we are now following, is a real global event which takes place since 14 years. And I think we have a lot of experience, and what makes me pretty happy is we we got older, meaning I'm talking about Javier, Kathy, and myself, as you see by the shape of our faces, that we are the generation who prepared the way. But I'm so much happy to see that people like Frederica Gianni and your other supporters from the young generation are really supporting this project, and we lean back and hope that it will be successful. Thank you very much. This is the end of this session. We will see again, all of you, and we may have some other conferences of this type. I think also, since you are announcing that the Infuni is starting next year, that there might be an event which we may even design together in order to create the inauguration, a kind of pre-inauguration, if you like. And let's see what happens until then. We are prepared to work together with you and to invest our time and spirit. Thank you very much. See you.
Thank you.
Thanks. Bye.